So that's one of them, and the way I had it was that was panned like hard left and then hard right. There was like... A lot of this material for this album actually started off as demos that I did really just to kind of try and hone my production and try and practice my instruments, and eventually most of it kind of snowballed into stuff that it is now. And actually the first song that I wrote was the big track, and Ecology. And I believe I wrote that or started writing it in late 2014. So everything that's on this album has definitely been a little while in the works, and you know, it's amazing to see it all kind of materialize into something that I'm actually really proud of. And to have Nolly working on it with me, and soon to be Mike Malian, it's just, oh, it's a dream come true. And I couldn't be happier with how things are turning out. I just feel so grateful. It's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think we can get that higher than that. I think that fits.
That will definitely fit, because we've just changed the middle.
Do you want to try with that?
So same thing on the palm mutes. Can you do this again? Like
Good.
Yeah. So on this record we recorded the guitars in a new way for me, which is to use real amp heads but into a load box, and I found this one made by Sir that does a really good job of actually making the amp feel like it's seeing a live speaker cabinet, and that's made all the difference to me. These are the best home recorded tones that I've gotten, and it's all been done silently. There's just something that I haven't been able to get from other kind of virtual devices in terms of the way the real amps respond, and just the workflow too of using pedals. You can see behind me there's a mess of various pedals. It's a way more tactile way of working. It's a lot more fun. You can get in there and twiddle the knobs and do things in real time while Gavin's playing, and filter the tone for certain sections in really subtle ways that I think add up to a much better sounding guitar production as a whole for a record.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, I didn't do the palm mute open thing, and
But I think
was
it was
not a good
cool.
thing. Working with Nolly has definitely pushed me to be really at the top of my game when it comes to recording these projects, because I'm certainly not a virtuoso, but his critique has definitely pushed me to kind of up what it takes in order to get these parts recorded, and it really is providing a whole new paradigm of looking at these demos and really pulling them in a new direction that's making them better tenfold, I believe.
So these are going to be super loud.
I think you're a bit flat. So when it first starts,
Yeah.
it's like that is going to be panned on the far left speaker.
Okay.
Then it's going to be that again on the right speaker.
Okay.
Then both in the center.
Okay.
And then it gets in the groove.
Do you ever need to hit that string there?
No.
Okay, here we go. That's cool. Definitely helps having
That
the
worked
fingers
a
there.
lot.
Sorry?
I felt pretty good about that one.
Once we had finished tracking the main songs, we had Mike, the session drummer for this project, come round. And that was a really good thing to do because his consultation in terms of the drum parts that we had programmed really brought a new sense of energy to what we're doing. It's just Gavin and I working here, and it's basically all Gavin's input. So it was so cool to have Mike come in as an outside influence.
Go into the recording session without having done this, then a lot of the skills that I've picked up have been making up for that in the moment, to like make it sound like there was a decision that had been made, but it hadn't, and it was just a question of making it sound like it had, whereas now we actually get to make those decisions with and I get to then throw the mindset of what it would be like without those decisions having been made, so it's like can get even deeper and deeper. So now we can make a really complex composition where every element actually, nothing happens by accident. There is some meaning, there is also going to be some happy accidents, but that won't be what I have to rely on to define the flow of the music, so I'm super excited for that. Yeah, that was it. Instead of like beating through like dun, 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 the idea was something that could be like a or like just something that worked with those three accents.
Yeah.
Because it's just beating through, the ending just sort of happens, and it's like it's over. But if it's like a something like that, it could just be. It's like a wild three accent again. That like
Yeah. I'm totally into that. Does that work for you?
That sounds
I definitely feel like the end of the song kind of just, like you said,
Stops.
just because I
Yeah, it's because there's nothing that happens to highlight the fact that it's about the end. It's like leading the listener into it. It kind of just feels like walking the listener off a cliff, as opposed to like saying like, okay, we're stopping now. You can get off.
Yeah, that sounds
Please grab your luggage from the overhead bays.
It was awesome to get his input on things because he had so many notes on all the songs, and everything that he was bringing up was just such an awesome suggestion. And it was really funny because some of the stuff that I had programmed, I was really worried about being like, oh, can a drummer actually play this? Is like we would listen to it and he would add more stuff on top of it to make it like harder. I'm just like, okay, if you want, that sounds amazing.
So it's been a couple of weeks of tracking guitar and adding all sorts of production and textures to the existing songs. It's been a really smooth process so far, and I'm actually really excited now to move on to the drum session because I feel like that's where the final bit of life is going to be injected into this project. So we've got 3 weeks now before that happens, and I can't wait to get into the studio.
As far as Middle Farm goes, there's something so awesome about that place in the sense that it just puts you in this creative mindset where you really can kind of explore ideas that are kind of hard to explore if you're not super relaxed. But, it's really true, and I definitely kind of experienced it being there before.
You were really in that pocket though, that was sick. I think that recording drums for this kind of music is so difficult on so many levels because of the technicality of the music, the physicality of the music. But to be going for these sounds that have become associated with sample drums because of their kind of inhuman accuracy and power and consistency and sonic capability too, and to do that for real it's a crazy process. I mean, how's it been for you seeing
it's unreal. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, especially in this day and age in music where if you hear something that's so pristine, instinctually you go like, oh, that has to be like fit or programmed or like, I mean, obviously not drums, but like auto-tuned or something. And to have sounds like this that are so like phonetically pleasing and also performance-wise pleasing, and to know that they're not programmed is just absurd. Because I feel like it's one of those shock factor things where if somebody hears it and you tell them like, no, that's not programmed, there's no samples, none of that, they would honestly be like, what?
Yeah. Or just not believe you.
Oh yeah, just like, no, you're full.
So we're back in Nashville now, and we're at Omnisound Studios, which for me this is my first time here, and so far it's been pretty great. I mean, we're in Studio B, which is kind of their smaller studio, and we're actually working with Adam Bentley. Been familiar with his work from like Arch Echo and even his solo work, and you know, it's awesome to meet somebody kind of a like-minded musical thinking to me. So, you know, I'm super excited to have him with us today, and yeah, I think it's going to be a ton of fun. It was definitely super exciting to be able to do the recording that we did in Bath with Nolly and Devin at Middle Farm, and it was just such an awesome experience, and it's kind of cool to bring it back to Nashville a bit and have some of that flavor in there as well. You know, it's definitely two very different worlds musically, Nashville being very traditionally country, and then Nolly's influence definitely coming more along in my style of music, but I think it's cool to kind of have both worlds meet at some point. I know this is definitely kind of the last part of the puzzle for the project, and it may not, or well, it definitely isn't as significant as the rest of the recording, but you know, I'm definitely excited to have a bit of Nashville in there, and hopefully that'll show.
The big track on this album, and Ecology, for me, this whole journey starting off 4 or 5 years ago, writing stuff in my bedroom, to working with Nolly now, it's been a huge journey of self-discovery. And for me, that song is very representative of that, because it is long, but an anthem for really the past 5 years for me. It is reflective of where I started and reflective of where I am now.